Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. Hope you guys have been having a good day. This is a North London Derby special because you know what? I don't know if you know or if you realise that had we have been playing football, tomorrow would have been the North London Derby at the new Tottenham Stadium. And I thought to continue on that flavour, even though the game ain't going on, I bring in my friend Tobi. Tobi, you there? There's Tobi there.
Yep. I'm here.
Tobi, of course. I remember when we had the Real Football Fan Show, the show that we did on Channel 4. Tobi came on a few times representing Tottenham and always argued his point vociferously, right? But he's a massive Tottenham fan. And of course, Tobi, it would have been the North London Derby this weekend. I mean, you know, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to touch on it in a minute. But how you been anyway? How you been in this whole lockdown thing?
Me personally, I'd go as far to say I'm enjoying it, to be honest. Barring the odd occasion where, like, I've had events lined up and I haven't been able to go to the events. I'm enjoying it because I'm still working. I'm still getting paid. I still have my job. I'm saving money because I'm not taking the tube every day to work, and I get extra hours, a couple hours sleep before work starts. So me personally, I'm enjoying it. I can do everything I need to from home. The only sort of downer is any sort of holidays that I had planned. That's the only issue. But apart from that, I'm okay. What about yourself?
Yeah. Oh. I mean, today, let me give you an example today, man. I was sort of talking to you before we came on. And saying that today I had to actually drive out today because my daughter's at uni and her uni's come to an end, so I had to bring her back home, and which you're allowed to do, by the way, right? Before people get onto me, right? And I got into my car, right, which I've hardly driven my car since this whole thing's been on because of the lockdown. I've just been at home, and I went and put the wrong petrol in my car, right? And then I was driving my car and I was like, what's this? The car's jumping all over the place. And then eventually it just conked out. Nice. And I had to call out these people to come and drain all of the unleaded petrol out of my car. And then, oh man, it cost me over 200 quid today. I'll tell you, man, I was fuming, man. You know,
that's pain, man.
Again, you know what that is? It's just because your routine. You know, I'm like, how have I put the wrong petrol in my car? It's just mad, you know what I mean? So, but it's a crazy time, you know, but I think, you know, as a nation, we're taking the right steps by all staying in, but no football, man, no football. And the thing is, on that thing of staying in, I mean, your players have been done for it. This week, our players have been done for it. This social distancing thing, your manager's been done for it. Your players been training together. I was there a couple of weeks ago saying, boy, what's up with these Tottenham players, man, blah, blah, blah. And then this week, our players go and do it. Pepe, Lacazette got done, but, you know, David Luiz and Xhaka. It's mad. The players can't help themselves.
Yeah, they can't at all. And in our case, the manager can't help himself as well. Like, we've just made a mockery of this whole coronavirus incident from paying people to just keeping sort of distances. Like, we've just made a mess of it all. So nothing surprises me with Tottenham nowadays anyway.
I'm hearing actually on the Arsenal front that the players are going to be returning back to training next week. So they're going to be returning back to London Coney next week, but they've got to go in on their own. They're not allowed to, like, they're not going to be training as a team. They're going to be able to go in as an individual, train, they'll probably have a program, train. It's going to be a very strict regime, and then they leave on their own. So you're still going to be sort of doing it on your own. You're going to be doing it on your own, but they're going to at least be able to go into the training ground and train. Whereas, you know, which is a lot different to just training at home where there's limited space.
Okay. How's that going to work then? Because you got, like, what? I'm just going to finger in the air here. You got, like, what, 25, maybe 24, 25 first team players. How's that going to work over the course of the day? Let's just say their training regime is maybe like an hour long or something. How does that work over the course of the day? Are they going to train in different parts of the ground? Or
I guess so. I mean, you know, at London Coney, they've got loads of pitches. You know, all these at your place, all these training grounds, they've got loads and loads of pitches. So I guess you could get, I think it's about 9 pitches at Arsenal. So I guess you could get like 9 players coming at one time and they could all be doing a session on individually on each pitch or whatever. Or some could be out on the pitch. They could have some in the gym. Then they swap over. But they said they're going to keep it. They said there's going to be some real tight rules around it. It's going to be really strict, but they are going to do it. So they will be back in training. And there is a lot of talk that, you know, the government and the leagues are going to get these games played behind closed doors. But imagine the North London derby behind closed doors.
Mate, it'll be pathetic. I'm not sure if you watched it as well, but they had a couple, like whenever in the Champions League games where you see some of these teams that have been penalised for some sort of some sort of issue, and they play their games behind closed doors. It just isn't the same. Like, no, it just isn't. It just, you're watching it and you're just thinking, this is so dead. Like, I need to switch the channel and watch something else. And that's all I keep thinking about with these Premier League matches. But right now, I'd definitely rather have that than nothing, because I'm struggling. I'm absolutely struggling.
Well, of course, this week would have been the North London derby. Do you know what? 16 years ago today.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
16 years ago today. What?
You won the league at our ground. I know it. I know.
What? Say that again.
You won the league at our ground 16 years ago. I know it. I know.
Won the league.
You love History FC. That's it. You're historians now. That's all you love doing.
What do you mean historians? Historians. At least we got a history.
I get it.
Imagine that though. You come to your rival, your deadliest rival's ground, and you win the league, man.
Yeah. Oh. It's mad. I was watching a video, weirdly enough, I was watching a video today of Henry and Ray Parlour being interviewed about that. And then Henry was like, he was basically saying how, like, when he first came to Arsenal, like, all the players, like, they drummed it into his head, like, how important this game was. And even though he was told not to be, like, overzealous in his celebrations, he basically just said, "Bun that, I'm just going to celebrate however I want to celebrate."
Glenn Kirtley there reminding you, won the league at White Hart Lane. Fire!
Those days are gone, boy. Those days are gone.
You know that on that, going back to that, they said that's what they were actually told, the players, not to over celebrate. That's what the Premier League told them. That they go, if you win it, don't over celebrate, because they were worried about trouble and things like that. Yeah. And I remember that game, right? Is that you guys equalised at the end.
Yeah, Robbie Keane.
I think the Arsenal players are planning to kind of hold it down, right?
Yeah.
And then Robbie Keane, remember that penalty he got right at the end here, right?
Yeah.
And when Lehman gave it, I was so vexed when Lehman gave that away, because we were going to do it in style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you guys, when you got the equaliser, you celebrated and you went mad.
Went mad.
So Thierry Henry and all those guys said, "Yeah, all right. When we win this now, we're going mad. We'll stuff all this not celebrating thing and that." And they just went mad. That's why they did it, because they were sort of told by the Premier League, hold it down, and they were gonna hold it down. After that, they said, "Nah, man, we're going in."
You know what? To be honest, I respect it, because for me personally, if I was an Arsenal fan at that point in time, or better, I was an Arsenal player, winning the league at your rival's ground, there's no way on earth you can just contain that. You have to go crazy.
You got to go crazy, man.
You got to go crazy.
I picked up a little vibe from you about historians. What do you mean by historians? What's this historian thing?
No, the historian thing stems from the fact that, like, every time I speak to Arsenal fans, of course, it's a monumental achievement, but that's all I hear. Oh, we won the league at your ground. We won the league at your ground. We won the league at your ground. Bro, I was 11 years old when that happened. I'm now 20. I'm now 27, going 28. Like, it's
you still ain't won the league. Yeah, you ain't won the league in that time. You ain't won it since.
And you ain't won it since. You ain't even come close to winning it since.
No, hold on, right?
No, I'm exaggerating.
We've come closer than you lot.
I don't think that's true, I don't think that's true. I'm playing.
Listen, man. Listen. Over the last couple of years, all right, Tottenham. Tottenham over the last couple of years, you've done well. I mean, Anyhow, you'd have won that Champions League last season. I
Your
mean,
head would have been hot.
but you
Your head would
didn't.
have been hot.
But you didn't, right? So listen, man. Yeah, I mean, it's still North London's still red, man. You lot know it anyway.
Ah, come on. Are we still banging this drum that North London's red? Why is
It's
it red?
Huh?
Why is it red? Why is North London red? What
Because
have you done?
what do you mean? What have you done?
What I'm saying is, what have you done? The league is the true measure of a team's quality over the course of a season. And in the league, you have struggled for like a good 3-4 years now. You're toast. You're actually toast.
No. And even in our struggles, right? There was that year when Leicester won the league.
Oh, what? When we finished third in the 2-horse race?
Yeah, you know it already. You know it already. So no, serious, man. You know what I mean? Yes, we have been struggling. We have been struggling over the last few years. But you guys, you still, you know what I mean? You still flattered to deceive.
You know what it is with us. It's deep rooted, and Spurs fans hate me saying this, and Spurs fans hate hearing this, but we have a deep rooted loser mentality that we've tried to sort of rip out the stems for years. Like Pochettino came closest to that, and if you hear his previous interviews, he was always talking about changing the culture, changing the mentality of the club. And that was what he was beating the drum down to Daniel Levy with the players as well. If you want to move like a big club, if you want to win big things, you have to turn up to the big matches. You have to strengthen when you need to strengthen. And at times over the past 4 or 5 years, as good as our progress has been, we just haven't done all of those things, man. It's ridiculous. Let me take case in point. Poch's first season, he takes us to a League Cup final. We lose to Chelsea, who were the league champions. There's no harm in that. Like Chelsea, better side, etc., etc. Fair play, the better team won. But then 2 years later, you're now playing Chelsea again under different circumstances. Now, like you're second in the league, unbeaten at home all year. Like this is now time to show people, yeah, go the extra step. We bottle it. The year after that FA Cup final against Man United, we bottle it. And as good as we've been over the past couple of years, as excellent as Pochettino was, the black mark will always be for all this quality. They didn't win anything. They didn't win anything.
Yeah,
and
well, which is true. And I think I'm almost sure that me and you was in an argument one day when we was down at a Channel 4, and I was telling you that. You was blazing on about Pochettino, and I was saying, yeah, he's a good manager.
No, he's an elite manager.
He's a good manager.
He's an elite manager.
He's a good manager. He's not an elite manager.
He is.
He's not.
He is.
What's he won?
See, this is and it's that's a good question.
It's a very good question.
No,
How can you be elite? You ain't won nothing.
That's a good question. So this is what I always want to say. This is what I always say. So had Pochettino had won those 2 FA Cups and left the way he did, would you say that he's an elite manager?
2 FA Cups.
No, so that everyone always says, "Oh, he hasn't won any trophies. He hasn't won any trophies." And my rebuttal back to them is, "Okay, cool. Let's take this now. Let's flip it. Let's flip it on its head. If Pochettino, let's say, had won those 2 FA Cups, yeah, and the League Cup, so you won 3 trophies, but in that period, we didn't finish in the top 4. We didn't get to the Champions League final. We didn't challenge for the league, etc., etc. If he hadn't done all of those things, but he won those 3 trophies, would you call him an elite manager?
No, I wouldn't call him elite if he won FA Cups, and I ain't call him elite because he ain't won. You got to win to be an elite manager. I think you got to won something like the league. You got to won something really substantial.
Okay, so like an important
elite man. So even like when Emery came in, that's what people were saying. This guy, yeah, he's not an elite manager. He's a good manager because he won 3 back-to-back Europa Leagues, but he's not elite. Elite, I suppose you could class your manager now as an elite manager because he's won Champions League, he's won those sort of things, but Pochettino ain't won nothing. So how can you be calling him elite? He's a good manager.
Okay.
It's true. He's a good manager.
Okay, cool.
Elite, you got to win the elite things.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
The manager you've got now is elite manager. I admit that. Mourinho's an elite manager. I just think he's done. That's my personal opinion.
So you agree that he's finished, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check that because I was not about to hear any Mourinho propaganda and Pochettino slander. I wasn't ready
So
to have.
were you happy when you got him?
No, I don't like him. I don't like him as a manager. I don't like him as a person. I think.
Wow, I didn't know that because I ain't even spoken to you on that since you got him. So that's surprising.
Everyone's always like, oh, thank you, lucky stars, you're getting Mourinho. Mourinho is bigger than Tottenham. Yes, X, Y, and Z. I'm not even disputing that he's won more than us, or he's a bigger manager than we've been, a bigger club in the past 10 or 15 years. But the fact of the matter is, people need to look at the present. The present facts state that this guy, he's fading, and he's fading fast. He hasn't adapted to the modern style of playing football. His man management methods aren't exactly the best as well. And all this winning mentality. His winning record over the past 3-4 years is massively overstated as well. Like, do you remember that nonsense he was pushing in that season when Man United finished second? How he won, or the season before that, how he won the treble or something like that. He won a League Cup, Community Shield, and something else. I can't remember. And he was trying to push the Community Shield as a trophy. Would you back in 05, 06, when he was dominating the league, when he was cocky as ever, would you ever expect Mourinho to use the Community Shield as a cup? You would never even think it. Fast forward to 2018.
You weren't happy. You weren't happy when you brought him in.
Nah, man. No.
You're the first, because most fans that I know, man, they were like beside themselves because they're like, he's gonna come in and win something now. What's
he gonna win? He ain't won anything important in years. When was the last time he won a league? When was the last time he even competed in the Champions League? This is what I keep saying to people. People are like, he's a serial winner. He's a serial winner. He's a serial winner. Okay, that's cool. But why are you selling your soul for the sake of one FA Cup? And I get it. We're Spurs. We could do with any trophy. I completely understand that. But for me, I would rather have long-term stability, a happier camp, finishing in top four, and then even looking up, competing in the title and pushing on in the Champions League to, oh, you might win an FA Cup, but in 2 years' time, your team's going to disintegrate and everyone's going to fall out of everyone and you're going to play boring football. I can't tell you the last time I've been to our stadium and I've actually enjoyed the way we've played. I can't tell you. Wow. I cannot tell you.
Okay, listen, I respect your honesty on it, man. Unknown Driller says, ask Tobi about Ndombele. Now, when you guys got this guy, I was thinking, oh man, Tottenham has stepped up a gear here, man. This guy, I've seen him playing in France, man. He's proper, but he's been disappointing. I mean, what's happened with? Is it Mourinho's fault? Is it Ndombele? What's wrong with the guy? Why ain't he performed?
It's definitely. I don't think it's Mourinho's fault. I think, as much as I hate Mourinho, that's one of the few things I agree with him, because Ndombele, I think it's just mentality. Like, I don't think he's grasped how difficult it is in this league, because like when you watch him on the pitch at times nowadays, he's so lazy and languid. But the thing is, he wasn't always like this. At the start of the season, he was actually playing well. Like, he was one of our best players in a couple of our matches. Like, I'll pick out, he came on, I think we lost 2-1 against Liverpool at Anfield. I remember we were getting battered in the second half. He came on last 20 minutes and he changed the game completely for us. Like, they couldn't get close to him, splitting them left, right, centre. Man City as well, his decisive pass for the first goal. Southampton at home, Red Star at home. I can reel off probably about 10 or 11 games where this guy's been playing at a ridiculous level. But ever since his injury in December, he's just not been the same. For whatever reason, he can't get enough of a rhythm. And then when he does play, he's so lazy, he's so ponderous. Like, that was my biggest criticism of him. Like, even back when people were criticizing him for his fitness and stuff, he was still doing magical things on the ball. Before the lockdown, maybe like January onwards, even when he was playing, bar probably Man City at home, he wasn't even doing magical things on the ball. He just wasn't doing enough. And you just got to ask yourself, what is the root cause of this? Like, is it fitness? Is it your attitude? What is it? And I think it's both.
It's funny because I've seen him being linked with Barcelona. So there's still ratings for him, but
he's the class player.
Yeah, Jamie Clark says, what did you think? I think this one's for me. He says, what did you think of George Graham going to Spurs? I was vexed.
That was nuts. I was a baby boy when that happened, but that was nuts.
I was vexed.
That was nuts.
And actually, he actually went there and won something for you.
Go and say it. I knew you were going to say it.
It's true. Well, you keep telling me about say it, but it's true. George Graham went to your club and won, what is it, the League Cup he won, isn't it?
He won the League Cup, yeah.
Ain't that the last thing you won?
Nah. Juan Ramos then won the League Cup again in 2008.
Oh yeah. Ramos, yeah. The man went there and won the league, but when he went there, I mean, listen, I could understand the man's been out of work. He'd been sacked by Arsenal. You know what I mean? And so, but I didn't like when he done that, man. I was like, yeah, you kind of. Funny enough, you know what? He was back at Arsenal the other day, and he got a decent reception. You know what I mean? People sort of, you know, yeah, people were giving me. I think people have forgiven him because it weren't like he left from Arsenal and went to you guys. He left Arsenal. He was out of work for a long time. Probably that come along and he thought, yeah, listen, man, I've got to, you know what I mean? So, but boy, you know what I mean? We're not used to that. We're used to man coming the other way. Like your captain, you know what I mean?
I knew that was going to happen as well. I knew that was coming too. I knew that was coming.
Alexander says, this one's to you, Toby. He says, White Hart Lane or the new stadium? He says, do you miss Pochettino, Gareth Bale and Luka Modric, Tottenham? And what do you think about Harry Kane maybe going to Man United? So that's a lot of questions he's asked there.
Fair questions.
White Hart Lane or the new stadium?
The new stadium
is called, by the way.
What's that?
What's it called?
It's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now.
Is it?
Until we get the naming rights sorted, that's what it's called. In terms of preference, from a looks point of view, it's the new stadium by a distance, by a country mile. But in terms of experience, frequency of good atmospheres, obviously it's White Hart Lane. But what I don't like is people always going about how White Hart Lane was this haven. Even in our best of seasons, there were plenty of games at White Hart Lane where it was kind of dull, kind of drab until the team scored. So it's just that in this new stadium, the atmosphere is just it's consistently bad. Consistently bad. Consistently bad. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. The new stadium thing is that, and we've had it at the Emirates. You get all them corporate boxes in. It's a change of vibe to the whole place, and it does affect the atmosphere. 100%, it does affect the atmosphere. But I thought that with you guys, because I know the one thing about what I thought with Tottenham, they looked at what everybody else has done with their stadiums, and they've attempted to end it. So you've got, for instance, that end where it's just the wall, whatever.
The wall's good. Don't get me wrong. Champions League, I think last year against Man City. Again, I always say this: the best atmosphere we've had at that place. Like, it was jumping that night, and I can probably count maybe 4 or 5 times it's been anywhere close to that. And I've been to this stadium, God knows how many times since we've opened it. So we got the right sort of infrastructure to generate a lot of noise. I think it's just having the right sort of people for the right game. Because obviously I imagine for like Arsenal, for instance, for like derby matches, that
would have been brilliant this week.
That'll be jumping, So it's fixed in the game. I'm just trying to think of the next question. Do I miss Pochettino? Yes, I miss Pochettino, of course. I want him back. Gareth Bale and Luka Modric to Tottenham. Is that to come to join Tottenham now, or
I don't know. Yeah, I think he might be saying that. Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't take him back. I love both, but I wouldn't take both back.
And then what do you think about Harry Kane maybe joining Man United?
It would never happen because they won't pay what we'd want. It would never happen.
I think Ed Woodward came out last night, and said that there's not going to be any big money transfers even at Man United. So, I just don't think that's those sort of signings. I think had it not been for the coronavirus, you guys would be in trouble in keeping Kane, because when he came out the other day, I think that's a sign that he's going.
I don't think he's going, but I think it's a sign to the board saying like, yo, pull your finger out, like get stuff sorted, because I can't keep playing like this, and I can't keep playing in a team that's not challenging for the major honours, because by all accounts, he deserves to be challenging and winning the major honours.
You get a lot of Spurs man coming with Spurs questions here. Milo says, Toby, who's more valuable to Spurs, Kane or Son?
Oh, bloody hell. It's Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane. A lot of people would say Son, though, because obviously this season and even last year, Harry Kane missed like half the season, and even now he's missed like 3 or 4 months. So Son he steps up, but Kane is he's missed the clutch. Like, he is the only player over the last 4 or 5 year period where the level rarely drops. Like, if there's anyone in the team you can rely on, it's Harry Kane. So for me, it's Harry Kane number 1.
Lisa, the next question here from Alexander, but aimed at both of us: Kane or Aubameyang?
It's a tough one, because in terms of goal scoring, out and out goal scoring, Auba's as good as Kane, if not better. But if I'm looking at overall what a striker brings, Harry Kane to a certain extent can bag the same amount of goals as Aubameyang. If we're talking finishing in front of goal, he can bag the same amount of goals as Aubameyang, but his all-round play is on another level to Aubameyang. So I'd have to go with Harry Kane. But I'm not mad at people putting Aubameyang higher than Harry Kane. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I think it is close. Obviously, I'm going to go with my boy. You know what I mean? Aubameyang, once he's here, that is, right? But it is close because they're both like great finish. Listen, I always look at it and say the job of a striker is to score goals, right? Yeah. And that's it. That's your job, right? And whether all-round striker, whether you've got so many different types of strikers, but ultimately, what people look at is how many goals did you score?
Exactly.
Not how many balls did you hold up.
Yeah.
Not how many flick-ons and things like that. Yeah. How many goals did you score? And that's why I just rate the both of them kind of because they both score lots and lots of goals. And to have players that consistently score 20 plus every year, that's invaluable. Easy. So it's
not easy.
Yeah.
And you know, and the thing is, it's funny you say that as well because
Nino's saying here that most of Kane's goals are penalties.
That's not true. That's not true. I can reel off the stats for you. That's not true. But back on the Auba v Kane dispute, the whole thing about Harry Kane having better all-round game, that only comes into play when you have someone like Kane scoring a similar amount to Auba. But what I hate is when people compare inferior strikers to Aubameyang and then talk about, but he's great at splitting defenses with a pass, so he's great when he's back to goal. Why do I care about all of that when Aubameyang is scoring me 30 plus goals in the season?
It's about goals. You get if you've got a striker that's going to score you 25, 30 a season, then get other man to do all them things.
Honestly.
You need somebody. You can have all the great play. We've seen it over the years at Arsenal. Brilliant build-up play. And then you've got a guy like Giroud up there who's, he's not clinical. He's a good striker, but he's not clinical. Who missed that chance.
Or Lacazette as well.
Huh?
Or Lacazette too.
Lacazette recently. Recently. Last year, Lacazette was playing well. What are you rolling your eyes for? What are you rolling your eyes?
I like Lacazette. I'm just saying he's never been, ever since he's come to the Prem, he's never been that clinical striker. He always misses chances, always, without fail. Without fail.
All right. Chances. Nathaniel says he asked Tobi why he dislikes Mourinho when he said he wants to change the loser mentality at Spurs. That's why you brought him in, isn't it?
Because I don't think he's the man to take us to that next level. I think people are looking at his resume. His resume says he is, but his current managerial skills says he's not. I don't think he's that man to take us to the next level. Granted, he is a winner.
Luke Swift says, Robbie and Tobi, how long, in your opinion, will it take for both clubs to be competing, and what signing would have to be made to make it happen?
I think we're in a better situation than you. I think we'd be. No, I think we are. I think our squad.
How's that?
Because I think our squad, even though our squad is deteriorating in some parts, overall, I think our squad's better than yours.
No.
And yeah, I think it is. And yeah, I think it is. And man for man, we have a better squad. What do you mean, why?
No, I don't think you have.
Okay, so why don't you think we got a better squad?
Well, let's go through it, man for man.
Okay.
Keeper, we got a better keeper.
You don't have a better keeper. They both make mistakes. Probably Lloris is even better.
What, Lloris?
Lloris is
better than Leno.
Yeah. It's not by a lot, but Lloris is better than Leno.
Man, he's done. Listen, don't get me wrong. Lloris has been a top keeper. He's been a top keeper. He's done now, man. He makes too many mistakes every game.
Leno makes the same amount of mistakes, if not more.
Nah, Leno's made a couple of mistakes this season. He's made some. Remember the North London derby last year? That save he made from Kane.
And remember Lloris, that save he made from Aubameyang.
Huh?
You remember the save Lloris made for Aubameyang? For the penalty.
Lloris, listen, I'm the start of the season. When he got that injury at the start of the season, look at the mistake he made. Did that?
Okay, but then I can
look at the World Cup final. But then
Robbie, I can point to Leno against Everton. I can point to Leno against. Was it?
No, this is a couple Leno. The one against Chelsea, there was the Chelsea one, and I think Everton. I think he's made the Chelsea game was the bad one where he missed that sort of He's made a couple of mistakes, but Lloris has made some really bad. Even in the World Cup final, the man let the ball through his legs.
Robbie.
Man.
You know it is, Robbie. You know it is. Lloris
you're going to look at this season and say that Lloris has been played better than Leno this season.
No, I'm not saying he's been playing better than Leno. I'm saying marginally he's a better goalkeeper. The reason why I'm saying
no chance, man.
Listen, you know what? Like, hear me out here. Because the thing is, with Lloris, he's a victim of when people scream out someone's failures and whisper their accomplishments. Lloris last season, from about November till the end of the season, was easily our top 5 best players in the season. No one will talk about it. He saved penalties against Aguero, Vardy, Aubameyang. He kept us in the Champions League against Dortmund. Made big saves against Ajax, big saves against Man City. Like Lloris, plenty games last year where we should have lost. I'll circle back to that Leicester game at Wembley last year that we won 3-1. Go and watch that game again. We were peppered from start to finish. Lloris bails us out. No one talks about this, but when he makes a mistake against Southampton, they'll talk about it. Now, Leno on the other hand,
pure mistakes all year.
But hear me out, Robbie. So Leno last year, statistically, he made more mistakes than Lloris in the Premier League. He made about probably 4 or 5 errors leading to goals. And this season, he's made just as many. That's his first season. This season, he's made just as many. I'm saying these keepers are very keepers. For me, it's very rare that you find a keeper who doesn't make mistakes. For me, I don't care if you make a mistake. My thing is, can you win your team more points than you cost your team? And Lloris does that for us time and time again. So does Leno. Yeah,
so does Leno. And I think if you used to speak to, even if you went to neutral fans, right, and you said, based off of this season, who's been the better keeper? They're going to say Leno.
Yeah, this season he's been better, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We're on about better squad. We're talking about at the moment. You're the one who's telling about history at the start of this
thing. Okay, cool. Right? You know, you can have Leno. Go on. You can have Leno next.
No, not can have. Leno is better. Don't feel like you're giving me nothing. Don't feel like you're giving me nothing. Right? All right, let's go right back. Bellerin.
Bellerin, as bad as Aurier is, he's way better than Bellerin. He's way better than Bellerin.
That's the next guy as well, man. Aurier. He can't.
He's trash. Aurier is trash. But Bellerin is worse. Bellerin, ever since he did that whole vegan, ever since he switched to a vegan, he's weak. He's weak sauce. He can't run. He ain't got acceleration anymore. He gets weighted, and in a 1v1 situation, he gets ripped.
He had a bad injury. And be honest, he's still working his way back. But I think overall he's a better player than Aurier.
I don't think so. Aurier's got something like 8 or 9 assists for us this season. As much of a liability as he is, Aurier is definitely a better right back than Bellerin. Bellerin is poor, even before his injury as well. Everyone always lets him hide behind this excuse. Oh, his injury set him back. Even before his injury, he was a poor right back. Every time I see him, 1v1
he was.
I'm
gonna give you Aurier because based off of this season, as a lot of people are pointing out, he has scored more goals, more assists, and Bellerin's been working his way back. So I'll give you Aurier, right? Yeah. Left hand side.
We don't have a left back. Our left back, who's our left back? Danny Rose, he's been packed this season. So we got what? Ben Davies now? Yeah, Kieran Tierney's better than Ben Davies.
Saka.
Yeah, Saka. You get.
Hold on, let me write these down because you know what I mean. I've got to make a note of. So hold on, right? We can make sure because you know what I mean. I don't want you tricking me up at the end of this thing, you know. So Leno in goal.
Yeah.
Aurier
right back.
Yeah, and then we got left back Saka, right?
Saka,
Agreed?
Yeah. So if we're basing it on this season, yeah, Saka.
All right, so centre backs now.
Centre backs, bloody hell, this is a tough one. Both our centre backs have been poor. I put Davinson Sanchez there for me. I think he's there. I think he's been better than Socrates and David Luiz this season. I put him there. And then the next one, I genuinely can't pick.
Alderweireld would have been last year picking this. It'd be automatic. I wouldn't even have bothered to even talk about that section because that would have been you guys. But then I look on it and I say, I don't know what's happened to Alderweireld, man. I don't know what you lot put in his drinks or something. But the guy who signed that contract, he come back a different. It's like you signed his twin. Because I don't know who that.
He's been on a downward. To be fair, he's been on a downward slope since last season. But I would have to go with him and with him and Sanchez. I think your centre backs, they're just unreliable.
Luis has. I think Luis has done better than Alderweireld, because yes, he's made earlier on in the season he made a few mistakes, but then he's done some good moments in games. He's scored a few goals. His passing range and that has been good. I'd say Luis and Sanchez.
Nah, I can't have Luis there. They're both too clumsy. They're way too clumsy. So it has to be Sanchez and Alderweireld, or Luis and I don't know. Luis, I can't have Luis there.
Luis in there. Luis and Sanchez.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Alderweireld's been pants.
All right, Luis and Sanchez. Right. So now we're going to the midfield, holding midfielder.
We don't have a holding midfielder.
So then we'll just put Torreira in there, isn't it?
He's not even played. He ain't even played.
I'll put Xhaka in there.
He's terrible.
Huh? You ain't got a holding midfielder. You ain't even got one. So we basically put one of Torreira.
Yeah, let's go with Torreira.
Torreira. All right. So we got two more. We're playing like a 4-3-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's put two more people in midfield now.
Yeah. So then Lo Celso has to be there for sure. He has to be there. You don't have a central midfielder who's been better than him this season, so he has to be there. And I'll even put Harry Winks there.
Winks? No, God, man. Winks. No. Listen. Overrated player.
He is overrated. He is. Listen, hear me out, Robbie.
I'll get right ahead of man like Danny Ceballos.
If it was Danny Ceballos hasn't been good this season, and I rate Ceballos higher than Winks. He hasn't.
Yes, he has. He got injured. He started off the season excellently. Then he got injured, right? Then since he's come back in the last few games under Arteta, he's been playing well.
Okay, so you know what, Robbie?
Ceballos would definitely be in there ahead of Winks.
Okay,
Joe Willock is better than Winks as well.
All right, cool. So let's do this then, because if you're putting Ceballos there, then Ndombele has to be there. Ndombele has to be there.
You just said yourself Ndombele's been poor. And how you just fit him man in? He's
better than the lot, though.
No, it's not. We're basing it off of what man's done this season. Yeah, we're putting right. Ndombele can't be there. Trust me, Winks is not on that level. Guendouzi's better than Winks.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Guendouzi's better than
right now.
Willock's better than him as well.
Willock is what? Willock.
Joe Willock. How many goals have Winks has scored this season?
Winks ain't a goal scorer.
He scored what? Joe Willock scored. Come on, man.
Joe Willock is like an attacking midfield player.
Harry Winks. What does he do, that guy Winks? Why do you not rate him? What's he do?
Listen. I'm not on this whole Winks. I love Winks brigade. All I'm saying is, I think this is probably his poorest season for us, but I'm just basing it on how everyone else has played. Joe Willock's been far too inconsistent. Ceballos inconsistent. Ndombele inconsistent. Everyone's been inconsistent, so it's very difficult. The only player I can put in there for sure is Lo Celso. Everyone else is up in the air.
You know what? I'm going to give you Lo Celso. I do think I have seen that guy. He looks a good player, right? And he has been he's been carrying your midfield. But that's it. The other player that's got to go in there.
I've got one. Sissoko. Come on. Yes, Sissoko and Lo Celso. Yes, I'm right.
I'll put Ceballos ahead of I'll put Ceballos ahead of that.
Robbie, Ceballos didn't play for like 3 months.
You put Danny Ceballos in there, definitely. No, Ceballos came back. He was out injured. Well, you could say the same for Sissoko. How long's he been injured?
He's been injured.
He ain't even played this year.
No, he's been injured since the start of the year.
He ain't even played. Exactly, he ain't played this year. So how can you? Nah, man, Ceballos. We'll put Lo Celso and Ceballos.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
All right.
But I just want it on record that this is on paper. I would not be agreeing with any of this. So I just want that on record. I just want that on record.
See, you're starting to see now that there's more Arsenal man in than you thought, innit?
No.
All right, the front three.
The front three is easy. Kane, Aubameyang, and Son. You fit them in however you need to. Aubameyang can play left or right, so it's easy.
Yeah, I think there is next season Pepe will be in there, but at the moment
no, he won't be. Whose spot is he going to take?
Huh?
What, Son's? Whose spot is he going to take?
He'll take Son's spot next season.
You're funny. Yeah. You are funny.
He will.
Pepe is nowhere near the quality of Son. Nowhere near.
He is. What are you talking about? He is,
nowhere
man.
Near. He's nowhere near.
It's his first season. Listen, in Son's first season, what did he do?
Yeah, he wasn't good.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. You've got to give the man a chance.
No. I like Pepe. I think he's going to be good, but him and Sonny, even next season, they won't be in the same league. It's chalk and cheese. I'm sorry.
All right, so the team is Leno in goal, Aurier, David Luiz, Davison Sanchez, and Saka.
I don't agree with Luiz, but go on. Yeah.
Right, and then we got Torreira holding midfielder, Lo Celso and Ceballos. Yeah. Right, and then we've got Son, Harry Kane, and Aubameyang on the left.
Yeah. No, Aubameyang on the right. Some plays left.
No. What are you talking about, man? Aubameyang on the left. Look at the goal man scored from the left-hand side.
Yeah, but Aubameyang's played right mid for you, no?
No, Aubameyang stays on the left, man.
It doesn't really matter.
Aubameyang plays where he wants there. He can play, you know what I mean? But he's more
and Sonny plays where he wants as well.
He's more effective either on the left or down the middle. Right? So Son will have to stay out on the right, right?
So how many
if his Son can't play on the right, then we bring in Pepe then.
Okay, so I'm just counting. So I got Aurier.
Six Arsenal. I can tell you already. There's 6 Arsenal players and 5 Tottenham.
That means nothing, though.
So straight away, when you're telling me about better squad, there you have it straight away.
That's only starting 11 though, and that's based on form. That's not based on.
We've got a better squad. Listen, we've got a better squad than you. What are you talking about? You ain't even got. Listen, you ain't even got a backup striker. What's his name? Parrot.
What? Troy
Starling or Eagle?
Robbie, you literally have one wide man, one natural wide man, and that's Pepe. You have one.
No, we got Saka who could play wide. I didn't even put Martinelli in there. Hold on, wait a minute. When I think about our squad, right? What are you talking about? Seriously?
Wait. No. So we got no. Hit me out. So you said Martinelli and Saka. We got Bergwijn. We got Lucas Moura. We got Lamela. I don't really remember, but we got Lamela. No, hear me out. We got Ndombele, Sissoko, Harry Winks, Jan Vertonghen, obviously fading, Ryan Sessegnon as well. Like, I'm not saying our squad's way better than yours, but
what about you? Forgot Dele Alli. This guy said, "What about?"
Exactly, we got Ali as well. I think our squad's better. It is better.
No, I don't think so. Because I think even up front there, right? As I said, when you take Harry Kane out of the team, we see with you guys, it's not the same team. Right? Whereas when Aubameyang was missing, Martinelli came in and was still scored goals.
No. I think what you meant to say is even when Aubameyang's scoring goals for you, like, you're still crap. So when you it's true. It's true.
We've been having a poor season and we're a point behind you.
So what?
With a game in hand.
Yeah, and we've been terrible.
This is like one of our poorest ever seasons since we've been in the Premier League, right?
So Robbie, what is it like?
We're behind you with a game in hand. I think we're 1 point behind you,
Robbie.
Yeah, and look at the terrible start of the season that we had. You sacked your manager long before we got rid of our manager, so you was able to get that little bounce and them thing there, right?
What bounce? Robbie, all I'm saying is this. Yeah, all I'm saying is this. You're saying this is your poorest season. This is the poorest season we've had in about 5 or 6 years. Add to the fact that we also have
a regular season for you.
It's not though. It's not anymore. It's not. Imagine if you had Aubameyang missing for 3 months. You'd be toast. We wouldn't.
We would be. Because you then got Martinelli. I told you, when Aubameyang was suspended for the 3 games, Martinelli stepped in and scored in 2 out of those 3 games, right?
Yeah, but Robbie, scoring in 2 out of 3 is completely different to scoring consistently.
Well, how many did Parrott score?
Parrott, I rate Martinelli higher than Parrott. I don't rate Parrott that highly.
I'm saying that squad's better. That's the point I'm trying to make to you.
But what I'm saying is,
you've got some good players on. Some of them players that should be good, like Ndombele, they've been poor.
Yeah, I'm with that. But all I'm saying is, on my only point is this: on paper, our squad is better. Therefore, when I'm looking towards next season, even though ex-players played poorly, etc., there's still a lot more to work with there than there is at your squad. There actually is.
I don't think so. I think our squad is better. We got better young players. When you look at your team, right?
You do.
Who's your sort of young player. You got Winks. So honestly, I
Sessegnon.
can't see what
Sessegnon.
people see in this guy.
Harry Winks ain't even that young. He's 24.
Sessegnon.
Harry Winks is 24.
Huh?
Harry Winks is 24.
Is he 24 now?
Yeah, he's not even young.
He's a youth.
Listen, Winks is a decent to good player. That's it. Nothing more to it. But in terms of young players, fair enough. Arsenal have better young players. When I say young players,
we've got Martinelli, we've got Guendouzi, we've got Saka, Willock, Nketiah. That's 5. When you're talking about players to work with, that's 5 players there, right?
Yeah.
Young players that are already playing a lot of first team football. Yeah. Even like you could put Rob Holding, is he now 22, 23? But you could possibly put Rob Holding into that. He's suffered badly from injuries.
Yeah, but then Robbie, but then Robbie, I can go through
players to work with than your team.
But then I can go through our team, and I know we only signed him in January. I know he hasn't played many games and he's not been that great. But Steven Bergwijn is definitely a good prospect. He's 20. He's at what, 21, 22? Lo Celso, 23. Ndombele, 23. Sessegnon, 19, 20 years old. Dele Alli, he's only just turned 24. Davinson Sanchez, 23. Harry Winks, 24. Most of our core squad.
So this guy here, Akil says Reece Nelson. That's another one I even forgot.
I like Reece Nelson, but he's not good enough for Arsenal, man. He's not good enough for Arsenal.
Actually, he's going to get a chance. That's the thing. That's the difference between us and you guys, right? Is that we give our young players a chance.
Whoa. When do we not give our young players a chance?
No, under Mourinho, these young guys they ain't going to get no chance.
You know what?
The only young, what's that young guy? The guy at the back. Actually, he looked decent.
Who Skip? Tanganga. I forgot about him.
Yeah, what's his name?
Tanganga, exactly. There's another one.
William?
Tanganga.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he looks a prospect. That's about the only young player that Mourinho's given a chance.
Yeah, but
if you look at across our team, we've given like 5-6 young players their chance this season, and I think somebody like Reece Nelson's only going to get better.
Yeah, Robbie, I can't dispute that. I feel like he should give more youngsters a chance, but at the same time, Sessegnon, he's played Sessegnon as many times as he could. He's given Oliver Skip a run out or two. Like you said, it just boils down to the fact that your youngsters are better than us. Your youngsters are more suited to first team footballs than us.
Like a lot of people are pointing out, I didn't even remember because he's been injured for most of the season.
What, Tierney?
Tierney.
Yeah.
One Davies, beast, this guy says. I don't know if he's taking the mick or whatever.
I think he's taking the mick. I like Foyth, but he's not good enough for Tottenham.
When I seen that guy, Foyth, again, no, come on, man. You can't say your squad's better than ours.
It is better, Robbie, though.
Nah, man, nah.
It's better.
No, man, no. I'm not having it, man. Your squad is not better than our squad, right? If any, you know what? I'm gonna be 100% fair and honest about this, right? I'd say at the moment the squads are very even.
Nah,
very even. So that's why when you're there saying to me that in the next you guys have got more to work with, I don't agree with that.
We do, Robbie. Do you know I say that though? Do you know I say that?
All the young players we've got.
Yes, but the thing is, but we've also got young players too. It's not like, don't get me wrong, there are parts of our team that are degrading, but we've also got young players too. We got a lot to work with as well. It's not like you're the only one that has something to work with. You just mentioned now with Tanganga. We got Tanganga, who's 20 years old, Sanchez, 23 years old, and if we sign another centre back and keep Alderweireld for his experience, that's already a brand new defense there. Do you get what I'm saying? Left back as well. Obviously, Sessegnon, he's not really a left back now, and he's not really had the best of seasons, but he's someone that we've bought with the future in mind. And you mentioned it yourself there, Troy Parrott. Like, I'm not even saying he's as good as Martinelli, but we haven't seen him play, even in like FA Cup matches as well. So, whereas you're seeing your youngsters play, we're not really seeing any of our youngsters play.
Chance.
And I've seen. The thing is, you laughed at Oliver Skip, and for me, I don't really rate Skip highly. But whenever this guy's played, he's actually looked quite decent. He's good at carrying the ball, and he's a good passer. So you'd imagine or expect that with more game time, he's gonna develop and he's gonna look better. All I'm saying is, when it comes to the actual upper echelon players, like which player can you look at in that squad and say, oh, he's a quality player, he's a world-class player? I think we have more of those than you. I think we do.
Do you?
Yeah, I think we do.
World-class players.
I'm not saying world-class players per se. I'm saying, let's say like quality to world-class players. If I had to look at the team on paper and I said, how many quality players or world-class players can you pick from this batch? There's going to be more from our team than yours. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
There is. And the thing is, I haven't even spoken about Dele Alli, who's just turned 24. People want to criticize him about
poor. Even your fans have been getting on his case.
Yeah, they have, and rightly so, because he's not been playing well, and he needs to buck his ideas up because he's too inconsistent now. But you got to remember, this guy's 24 years old. He's 2 league goals off 10 league goals for this season, and he's a attacking midfielder who's had to play striker the past couple games, and then even last year as well, bags and bags of injuries. All I'm saying is, when I look at that team, in my opinion, there's more match winners in our squad than there is in your squad. That's it.
Who would have won the derby this weekend then?
We would have won it. In fact, no, we wouldn't have won it. We wouldn't have.
Why you say that so conclusively?
No, we wouldn't have.
He didn't beat us last year, did he?
I'm thinking of it now based on who's training, etc., etc. But back then, before the lockdown, looking into this game, I wouldn't have expected us to win. I would have said.
Because remember, you would have been, because Kane's still not fit, so you still be missing Kane.
Yep, Sonny injured as well, Bergwijn injured. Yeah, so it would have been a draw or Arsenal win.
Yeah, no, it'd be an Arsenal win, I think. And as well, you know what I mean? We were picking up this year. Yeah, I think this particular year, we were picking up. We were on a decent streak. We're unbeaten this year. We're unbeaten in this year, right? Whereas you guys,
yeah, but who have you played with?
This year, yeah. When I say this year, I mean 2020. I don't mean not in the season.
Yeah, I get you.
But we've lost less games than you.
Yeah, we haven't been good this year. That's what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is, who have you actually played? Because I swear, your next game was going to be against Man City.
Huh?
I swear your next game was going to be against Man City.
It was going to be against Man City.
Yeah. So whilst you were unbeaten, the L's were about to come. Let's be real. The L's were about to come. They were. And if I'm not even hating. I'm being as fair as I can be here. When I look at your wins, fair enough. Man United back the 2-0.
You didn't beat Man United, did you?
No, we didn't. But that was at Old Trafford. But the Man United 2-0, fair play. You deserve to win that. But then I saw Everton at home. You didn't deserve to win that game. Let's be real. You didn't. Yeah, you won, but you didn't deserve to win it. When
you beat Man City at home, right?
Yeah, we didn't deserve to win it.
I've never seen a game like that where a team get battered.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like Mourinho.
Right, and that was what you call theft.
Exactly, and that's why I don't like Mourinho.
Who are you to come tell me about we didn't deserve to win that game? We won. We beat Everton.
You didn't, and the reason why I can say that is because I can also admit that we haven't been good this year. So
we beat West Ham. West Ham beat you at home.
You should have lost. You should have lost that game. Oh my God!
Should have lost. We beat them. We beat them. What did you do against them?
What, West Ham?
What do you mean about the L's were coming? We beat West Ham at home. They beat you at your yard.
Not this season. No, they haven't played us at home this season.
Or they beat you at their place.
We beat them. We beat them. That was Mourinho's first game. We beat them 3-2.
What is it they beat you at home? Was that last season?
That was last season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't think you lost to Everton as well. Yeah?
At home, nah. We haven't played Everton at home. We drew 1-1 away from home when we were down to 10 men and they scored in like the 95th minute or something like that. We drew 1-1. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not tooting our horn here. We've been pants and we deserve to be where we are.
So have we.
All I'm saying is your unbeaten run. I'm just debunking that unbeaten run because in that unbeaten run, the performances haven't been up to scratch. So it's only fair for me to say when you play the better teams that will punish you, you're going to lose.
We've got a new manager in, right? And we've played some of those so-called better teams. We played Chelsea, beat you, right? We played Chelsea at their place. We got a draw. Yeah, with 10 men, right? We played Man United. We beat them.
You should have lost at Chelsea though.
What lost? What are you on about?
At Stamford Bridge, you should have lost.
We were down to 10 men. We came back.
Exactly.
What do you mean we should have lost that game?
On chances.
We deserved to draw that game.
No, I don't think you deserve to draw.
Quite possibly, you could argue if we'd had 11 men, we'd have probably won the game.
Don't get me wrong. You defended well, and you're good value for 2-2. But Chelsea missed at least 2 or 3 chances there.
And when we played Chelsea at our place and they beat us, right? I think everybody universally knows that we were robbed in that game, right? Because things should have been what's the name? Jorginho should have been sent off. They've even come out since and said yes, should have been a sending off.
Yeah, it should have been. It should have been. But the thing is, you lot ran out of gas that game. That's the thing. That's what let you down. You ran out of gas and you got punished. And your keeper made a mistake. Your keeper, your elite keeper, made a mistake.
And that's the mistake I told you. I said I said about that mistake earlier. That's nothing we're hiding. I said about that mistake earlier, didn't I? Right. But I'm saying that we at the start of this year, 2020, we was a team on the rise. Whereas I looked at you guys, you were declining.
Yeah, we are declining, and that's why we need a.
I'm just on about this 2020 season. You lot were declining, and we were starting to improve.
Yeah,
and we were only 1 point behind you, and that's why I think we would have finished higher than you. We would have beaten you. I think we would have finished higher than you this season. The season still might be completed. You're going to get a bit lucky because you'll get
our players back
and guys like that. But that's part of the problem with you guys is that you're too dependent on Harry Kane.
It's not just Harry Kane though, Robbie. It's not just Harry Kane because you say that, but we got to a Champions League final without Harry Kane last season. Yeah, we finished in the top 4 last season without Harry Kane for half the season. The season before that, Harry Kane missed probably around 2 months of football. And we finished 3rd that season as well. So I get it. We depend on these goals, but it's not like Harry Kane is Harry Kane now. We got Sonny who can score. We got Ali who can score as well. Even last season, Lucas Moura weighed in with a couple goals as well. So
my thing is, in the final.
Yeah, exactly. But my thing is this though with you. I fully agree. If the season hadn't stopped and coronavirus wasn't a thing, yeah, you would have finished above us because we didn't have anything else. We had no Sonny, no Sissoko, no Harry Kane. We didn't even have Bergwijn. Bergwijn's out for the rest of the season. So our squad was down to out for the rest of the season. So our squad's down to the bare bones. And with Mourinho at the helm as well, there's not going to be any sort of tactical news to sort of circumvent else. So we were definitely going to finish below you for sure, 100%.
Okay, well, I just fancied we would have took the North London derby this week, but it's been great having you on, man. You know,
it's been good to come on.
You argue your point well as usual. the Lloris Leno one. I mean, I don't know. I suppose it's a bit unfair to put it out there. It's a bit unfair to put it out there to everybody because obviously the majority of people on here are all Arsenal fans. But no, man, no. Lloris, maybe back in the day, man. Lloris, 3 years ago. Lloris a few years ago was a top, but how old is he now?
I think he's at 33, 34.
Yeah, he's done out here, man. Done.
Yeah, he's on the way down, but he's still better than Leno.
And Leno's on the up. Huh?
He's just about better than Leno. Just about.
Nah. Well, I'm going to just leave you with this comment before we go, yeah? As Lovell says, North London is red, and you know it's red if you come on this channel. But no, thanks for coming on, Toby, man. Respect you. And hopefully, you know what, we'll get that derby on. That's the thing. That's the main thing. If we can get that derby on and the season gets finished, that'd be brilliant. So thanks for coming on, Toby.
Cheers, Robbie.
That's Toby there, and thanks for our North London derby special. A lot of banter there. And remember, as I said at the start of the show, 16 years ago to the day, we went to White Hart Lane and we won the league. Never forget that. Never.